Hello everybody and welcome to my very first sponsored video. I never thought this would happen. I have been reached out by other language learning apps to promote them, but I just couldn't bring myself to it and I won't name them in this video. However, it's a completely different story when it comes to what I'm promoting today. What I'm going to talk about is LingQ, and I've used this app every single day for the past 1.5 years now, so I really do enjoy it and I hope I can show you why and maybe convince you to try it out for yourself. In my opinion, there are 3 main points that set LingQ apart from other language learning apps because they do things a little bit differently. The first is that vocab is extremely important. Of course, this is quite obvious. You need enough words, enough vocab to have any meaningful conversation with anybody in the target language. And your topics of conversation shouldn't just be limited to talking about hobbies, your family, your friends, naming the colors, counting, and asking where the bathroom is. Speaking of words, this is how many that I've learned on LingQ over the past 1 year in German. The next principle is based on the input method. And if you've never heard of this before, it is basically kind of like trying to learn a language in your childhood. You're literally trying to consume as much of this language as you possibly can until your brain gets so used to it that you kind of just know it, or otherwise known as fluency, I guess. And before someone comments, there are definitely differences in your soakage ability when it comes to language as an adult in comparison to when you're a child. That is undebatably true. However, when you're learning your first language as a child, you weren't able to read. So you can avail of this amazing ability that you spend years of your life perfecting to try and help you with the new language, and it will boost your language learning ability tremendously, because when you come across a new word, you aren't just hearing it for the first time. In LingQ, you're also seeing it. The third and final point that I'm going to be mentioning today is learning from what you're interested in. Again, this might seem really obvious, but a lot of language learning apps just don't really allow you to learn from what you're interested in. And basically, the more the content interests you, the better. Plus, if you're learning from content that you find interesting, you're also picking up words based on what you're interested in, which allow you to talk about what you're interested in. To give you a quick example of what I mean, I just watched this video about stopping the climate change crisis. Then I wanted to import this to study as a lesson, so I imported a lot more than that. But here we go. And this is the lesson loaded into LingQ now. Exactly what I'm interested in, ready for a lesson. I'll explain more about why everything looks the way it does, but just so you know, I can listen to the lesson and I can watch the YouTube video directly from LingQ as well. So it really does come together really nicely. Maybe it'll then allow you to talk about more things than just ask where the bathroom is. If you click the link in the description, you're going to be able to sign up for LingQ. And if you do this, you will be given a choice to select your interests. I'll put mine up on the screen right now, and these are the ones that I've chosen. The home screen got a bit of a makeover, and paired with the algorithm and what you chose as your interests, it'll show you things that you might want to read about. Obviously, if you're a complete beginner to the language, this may not be all that useful yet, but it does have some guided courses for you to work through to build up your vocabulary until you're able for these slightly more advanced, maybe intermediate, lower intermediate content, which LingQ excels at. I particularly like the mini stories because they not only give you the most common vocab spread out through the up to 60 mini stories that you can listen to, but they give you different viewpoints so you can learn different verb tenses. They also provide you with the most useful and most frequent grammar structures. Speaking of different levels, you can also control the language difficulty by a little slider bar on the top of the screen. So I opened Italian to show you what it will look like when you first log in. There are, however, many other languages for you to choose from, such as these. And after watching this video, you shouldn't need the getting started lessons. So I suggest to skip those for now, as their vocab is a little bit specific, maybe a bit advanced for a beginner. Instead, go to the Beginner 1 guided course and start with whatever you want. I'm going to look at the greetings and goodbyes for this video, and as you can see, every word here is highlighted blue. Blue means unknown. I've never seen this word before, which is correct. This is my first lesson in Italian. I'm going to go into sentence mode here to make it easier for myself and less confusing for you all. And with a premium account, you can translate the sentences if you're stuck, or you can simply select the blue words. A translation will pop up and you can save the word as a link. And with my link in the description, you can save 100 extra links than you could if you just got the free account yourself. So you can try it out a little bit longer to see if you do enjoy it. The links are a different shade of yellow depending on how well you know the word. For example, if you already sort of knew this word, then you could save it as 3. If you instead already knew the word, then you could click known. And both of these options will change the color or remove the highlight from the word. And the words you save will most likely appear in another lesson in the future, and they will already be saved in that lesson. So when you open the lesson, and the words that you already have saved as a link before, seen before, will show up as yellow. The ones that you already know will show up unhighlighted or just as normal text. So this is a really nice way of seeing your progress in a way that other language apps don't really do. And the number of words is also shown at the top of the screen. You can also import news articles, YouTube videos, Netflix series, podcasts, ebooks. Literally anything that you want to study as a lesson in LingQ is available for you to do so. There is a limit of how many things you can import on the free account, but it's unlimited with the premium account. And you can see I've imported almost 1,000, I think, lessons in LingQ so far. By now you might be asking about how you're going to learn grammar on this platform, and there is a basic grammar guide available for the different languages on LingQ. And there's also a verb conjugator dictionary linked into the translation feature on LingQ if you want to use that. However, my recommendation is just to keep on reading, keep on listening. You will be surprised at how much you actually can understand, and therefore how many different grammar structures that you can learn and acquire passively. And most importantly, doing this means you don't have to do those boring grammar exercises that are in some language learning textbooks. Although it is important to mention, because I've done it myself, if there's a specific grammar question you have or a specific grammar point that you want to learn about more in detail, then a quick look at the grammar guide or a quick search on Google or YouTube to get yourself a little bit familiar with it is really helpful, because then when you jump back into LingQ and see it again, it is just makes everything a lot clearer. Okay, so this method of language learning is very different to what I was used to in school, and just very different from the general concept of how people should learn languages. But I gave this platform a go, and I read on LingQ I think over 500,000 words. By doing this, I've also been able to read my first novel in German, and it was just insane that I could read my first novel in a different language without going to a language learning class and learning all these grammar structures. Just from reading on LingQ, I was able to read outside LingQ. I'm also reading this book at the moment. As you can see, this is a little bit more difficult, but I'm getting through it. I'm also watching Netflix shows in German now. I have recently just finished Biohackers, and I'm speaking with and understanding native German speakers in a way that I never thought I could achieve. And that's all accredited to LingQ, because I'm importing native content, so I'm learning from native content. I'm not learning from a textbook, and I guess it just shows really. And there's times where the language just kind of comes out. It's like the sentence that I wanted to say was just there ready to speak. Yeah, it's honestly surreal that a year ago I knew no German, and now I'm doing everything that I set out to do when I first started LingQ. If this video sparked your interest in this app and you want to try it out for yourself, I have one tip, and that is just to keep reading and just to keep listening. Trust me, it does work. That's my little thing for the camera. It also works so well that I kind of feel like I'm cheating in a way, especially when I listen to friends of mine who are in language learning classes stressing over the exams they have to take, and I'm just reading about climate change or just books that I want to read. Anyway, again, link is in the description if you do want to check it out. I get a notification if you use my link, so if you want, we can follow each other on the app and motivate each other to keep on learning, keep on reading. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this was a good sponsored video, and yeah, I will see you next time. Goodbye.